Yes, good morning everyone. Today we are going to have the Hindu analysis of 24th March 2022. Okay, let's see which are the important articles from today's The Hindu newspaper. Okay, look at the first page. Important development from economy section, external sector, export cross $400 billion annual target as goods shipment jump. Okay, this is good development from economy, Indian economy perspective. We will cover from the GS3 paper mains examination as well as prelims examination economy part. Okay. On right hand side you can see the new development center to recall order on COVID containment. So such kind of containment orders were given 2 years before when the lockdown was announced for the first time. The containment measures were undertaken to deal with this pandemic under Disaster Management Act 2005. Okay. So those measures are being revoked by the central government. However, the local authorities and state police can still invoke fines and criminal cases against the persons violating COVID-19 norms under IPC sections. Okay, so these sections can be implemented by the local government and state government, but the central government, we can say the containment orders and the provisions directives under Disaster Management Act 2005, they have been recalled. Okay. Moving on. Yes. Come to directly page number 8, editorial page, the lead article, Global Uncertainties and India's Growth Prospects. Okay, so this is important article, and here we are going to understand the economic impact of global uncertainties that are going on at present, be it Ukraine-Russia conflict that is going on, Ukraine-Russia military conflict that is going on, as well as the sanctions put on Russia by European Union and US. So how it is affecting Indian economy. That aspect is in depth analyzed here. The writers, C. Rangarajan, former chairman of Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council, former governor of RBI. Okay, so these writers write very good articles from economy perspective every month or after 2 months, understanding the present state of Indian economy. Also a good data, updated data is mentioned in these articles. So everyone should read articles written by these writers from economy perspective. Yes. Fine, the other article are political in nature, one sports related is there. So that is not important. Yes, on text and context page, 2 articles. On page number 10, the controversy over proposed Mecca water project. It is important from GS2 paper polity part. So the cooperation between or among the states and the central state relations, how this interstate river water sharing disputes, they affect the relations between the states as well as center state. This one issue that is going on in last few years, Mecca project between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu across Kaveri river. So we will try to find the location and the basics from geography perspective also, as well as polity GS2 paper perspective. Then on bottom side, the Artemis program of NASA, a new moon mission, NASA's new moon mission. It is in news recently because this is going to be launched in the summertime by NASA, and the basics about this Artemis program is explained in that explained article. Okay, so it is important from mains as well as prelims perspective, science and technology. GS3 paper, science and technology, mains examination as well as prelims examination. Okay. Now, moving on. Yes, come to page number 15. There you can see China says that Russia can't be ousted from G20. So G20 countries were considering the membership of Russia in G20 grouping. So again it will be revision for you. G20, already UPSC asked question in 2020 prelims examination about G20 countries. The group of countries were mentioned in the options and the question was straightforward, factual, that which of the following are the members of G20 grouping. Okay, such kind of questions are being asked. So that's why the names of the countries or the members of a particular grouping you should remember. Again, we will revise about G20 from IR perspective. On bottom side on the same page, American mathematician Sullivan wins Abel Prize. Okay, this Abel Prize, which is given or we can say noted prize in mathematics, in the field of mathematics. Okay, so which particular government established this Abel Prize, which authority or we can say that institute gives this prize, when it was started, and at present the person Sullivan, for what purpose, for what research in mathematics he has been given this award, everything we have to know from prelims perspective. Okay. Yes, fine. So these are the important articles. Let's go in detail about these articles. Yes. Global uncertainties, India's growth prospects. Yes, the article analyzes the impact, economic impact of global uncertainties that are going on at present on Indian economy, we can say. So yes, post COVID-19, the normalization of Indian economy has been now disturbed by the ongoing geopolitical uncertainties, especially fueled by Ukraine-Russia military conflict. So yes, normalization, we can say that during 2019-20, there was, we can say, contraction in GDP by, we can say, minus 6.6%. Okay, minus 6.6%. However, or 6.8%, 6.6 to 6.8% GDP contracted during that year. But yes, during next year 2020-21, yes, GDP was recovered and we can say that the growth of 8.7% in GDP happened, and we are now witnessing that the demand components, all demand components in 2021-22 have surpassed their corresponding levels in 2019-20. However, the growth of consumption and investment demand, we are talking about private consumption here. Okay, this private consumption, which is calculated by private final consumption expenditure, and investment demand by gross fixed capital formation. So this data shows that these two indicators only improved by 1.2% and 2.6% respectively over this period, suggesting sluggish revival in domestic demand. Okay, so we have to understand that although the demand components have improved, but the consumption and the private investment, these components have not improved over the period of last 2 years. Okay, let's understand the economic impact of these uncertainties. First, we know that there is increase in global oil prices, crude oil prices. Okay, and how it will impact Indian economy in terms of economic growth and inflation? There are RBI estimates which suggest that if suppose a particular oil price is increased by $25 per barrel in Indian market or in global market, suppose this increase in price happens, then what will happen on the Indian economy? It will affect, or it will, we can say, affect negatively the GDP growth, reduce GDP by 0.7%, as well as it will increase inflation by 1%. This is the estimated impact of increase in these barrel prices as compared to base price, which is considered as $75 per barrel. And now in recent times it has crossed over 120 above, $120 per barrel above. okay, or that is the price, oil prices that we are witnessing. That means this impact on GDP in inflation, on inflation is going to be huge. Okay, yes. So this is the impact of global oil price rise. Second impact is on increasing current account deficit, which is fueled by increasing import bill, okay, and also it will be coupled with depreciating rupee. Now here one of the estimates suggests that this CAD, if suppose this increase in current account deficit happens, it is going to increase, we can say, have declining effect or reduce the GDP by 1 percentage point. This particular current account deficit, if it increases by 1%, okay, so it is going to create or reduce the GDP by 1%. So this is going to be the major impact on Indian economy. Then further we can talk about the government finances or fiscal deficit. We can talk about fiscal deficit also. And if you talk about fiscal deficit, what will be the impact here? So the problem related to, we can say, petroleum subsidies and we can say fertilizer subsidies, because their prices will increase. So subsidy bill of the government will increase. So of course fiscal deficit will increase because of this. Also, if the government is not reducing, or we can say if government reduces the excise duty on the petrol or petroleum products and VAT on the petroleum products, so revenue collection of the government will reduce. All these dynamics is going to impact the fiscal deficit or government finances also. Okay, so this is going to be the negative impact of present global uncertainties. If we are talking about sector wise in economy, so those economic sectors dependent on petroleum products, for example, which are the examples? Fertilizer industry, very much dependent on natural gas. Then iron and steel. Such industries will bear the brunt of increasing crude oil prices and they will be negatively affected. Okay, so this is how we should analyze the negative impact of present global uncertainties. Then if we are talking about trade with this Ukraine and Russia, so of course that is also being affected. It is negatively affected. For example, if we give the example of Ukraine-Russia, fertilizer imports are reducing. Major importer of fertilizer from Ukraine and Russia. Also, we can give the example of coffee. You can give the example of the other products like corn. Okay, so they are not being imported from these countries. Edible oil, you can give the example. Okay, so these countries have been now facing sanction, or we can say Russia is facing sanction. It has been removed from the SWIFT transactions. So of course the trade with these countries is being affected. Okay, so this is the analysis you should know. And further, if we analyze from Indian government perspective, how government is facing dilemma. What kind of dilemma it is facing? On one hand, if suppose the government oil marketing companies are forced to keep oil prices or petrol prices low, then what will happen? There will be increasing government subsidy burden, because ultimately these subsidies are to be paid to oil marketing companies. So government subsidy burden will increase. Then second aspect one should know that if government reduces taxes on petroleum products, like for example excise duty and VAT, then government revenue reduces. On the other hand, if suppose prices are passed on to the consumer, if prices are passed on to the consumer and industries, so what will happen? It will negatively affect consumption as well as demand in the economy. So overall it will impact the economic growth or recovery of Indian economic growth that is going on from the last 1 year. Okay, so this is the dilemma that government is facing now, whether to do this or do this. Okay, so ultimately the government has to play its cards in a very careful manner. Okay, it has to balance both, because it cannot mount on the subsidy burden like this and reduce its revenue. At the same time, this cannot be done because at present the economic recovery is at the nascent stage. If suppose it is allowed to do the damage, then again it will take long time for recovering our economic growth. Okay, so all these aspects we should understand and analyze in this manner. Okay, fine. Now moving on to next article. The controversy over proposed Mecca 2 project. Yes, quickly we'll try to know about this controversy that is going on. Within days of Tamil Nadu Assembly's resolution against the project, Karnataka Legislative Assembly is set to counter it with resolution seeking project's early implementation and clearances from the central government. This is the context. Basic about the project from geography perspective also for prelims examination. Yes, about this project, originally the project was mooted in 1948. Mecca 2, which translates in a literal meaning goats crossing, is a drinking water cum power generation project across river Kaveri. Just before when it is entering into Tamil Nadu, near Bangalore city, we can say around 90 to 100 kilometers. Karnataka gave the project shape after final award of Kaveri Water Dispute Tribunal was notified in February 2013, allocating riparian states their share. Okay, so after that immediately Karnataka started expediting on the project. After pre-feasibility study report that was submitted in 2018, the state submitted the detailed project report to Central Water Commission in 2019. The project, which will involve submergence of nearly 5,100 hectares of forest in Kaveri Wildlife Sanctuary, hosting rich flora and fauna, will help the state in utilizing the additional 4.75 TMC feet of, we can say, water allocated by the Supreme Court in 2018 for consumptive use for drinking purpose for Bangalore and neighboring areas. तो ये ड्रिंकिंग वाटर सप्लाई के लिए लार्जली यूज होगा एंड अलॉन्ग विद दैट इट विल बी ऑल्सो प्रोड्यूसिंग सर्टन अमाउंट ऑफ हाइड्रो पावर. In July 2019, expert appraisal committee on river valley and hydroelectric projects constituted by Union Ministry of Environment and Forest had said that the proposal could be considered only after Tamil Nadu and Karnataka reach amicable solution. Okay, this was the view given by Union Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change. Now, what are the views of these two individual states? But before that, we will try to know the present status. How this will benefit Karnataka? Water from Mecca 2 is to be pumped to quench the thirst of burgeoning population of Bengaluru. Along with that, Nagar and Bengaluru rural district will also benefit. Also, there is plan to generate 400 megawatt of power. ठीक है, तो drinking water as well as power generation. What is the present status of the project? The project is now before Kaveri Water Management Authority. The authority is exploring possibility of having an exclusive discussion on the project when the matter is sub judice. Why matter is sub judice? Because here you can see Apart from writing to the center to withdraw the permission given to prepare detailed report, Tamil Nadu has filed the petition before Supreme Court explaining its objection against the project. And there is filing of counter affidavits by central and Karnataka government also. So matter is subjudiced before the Supreme Court. Now what is the Karnataka stand? Karnataka says that there is no case for Tamil Nadu after its share of 177.75 TMC feet of water is ensured at the interstate border, gauging the center at Biligundulu. This amount is awarded by Supreme Court, final award to the Tamil Nadu. So Karnataka is saying that if this much amount of water is allowed to flow into Tamil Nadu, then why Tamil Nadu is worried about this project? Also, the project falls inside the jurisdictional limit of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu's permission is not needed. The state also argues since there is no stay in any court for the project, Karnataka can have go ahead. Now, why Tamil Nadu is opposing it? Tamil Nadu feels that Karnataka, though the project will impound and divert flows from uncontrolled catchments to it, the component which was taken into account by tribunal in 2007 order while arriving at the water allocation plan for the state. So that means basically this project or this building dam and diverting water from this is going to divert the significant amount of water from its catchment area in the nearby region, and this will, we can say, this will not allow the water to flow into Tamil Nadu in near future. एक बार डैम बिल्ड कर दिया तो उसके बाद में मुश्किल हो जाएगा कि उस वाटर को एक नेचुरल फ्लो में अलाउ करना फ्लो के लिए. So that's why Tamil Nadu is concerned. Also Tamil Nadu is worried looking at the nature, the fight it had with Karnataka over the sharing of waters of Kaveri river in last few years, and that's why it is not trustworthy of the promises made by Karnataka. Okay, so this is the concern of Tamil Nadu government. Fine. So GS 1 paper geography, GS 2 paper polity also for prelims examination. Artemis program of NASA's new moon mission. Okay, it is important from science and technology perspective, space science. Okay, recently on 17th March, NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Administration of US rolled out its Artemis 1 moon mission to the launch pad for testing at Kennedy Space Station, Florida. The Space Launch System SLS rocket and Orion capsule of the mission. These two names you should remember for prelims examination. Now what is this mission? Artemis mission is touted as the next generation of lunar exploration and is named after twin sister of Apollo, Greek mythology god. Artemis is also the goddess of moon. Okay. Artemis 1 is first of NASA's deep space exploration systems. It is an uncrewed space mission where spacecraft will launch the SLS, that is the Space Launch System rocket, the most powerful rocket in the world, and travel 280,000 miles from the Earth for over 4 to 6 weeks during the course of the mission. Now other basics of this mission, that with the Artemis program, NASA aims to land humans on the moon by 2024. Also first women and first person of color on the moon. NASA will establish an Artemis base camp on the surface of the moon and a gateway in the lunar orbit to aid exploration by robots and astronauts in near future. Further information, other space agencies also involved in Artemis program like Canadian Space Agency or European Space Agency or Japanese space agencies, Aerospace Exploration Agency. So they are providing certain components, certain technology inputs to this Artemis project. Also there is re-entry program, that this Artemis project or this spacecraft is going to revolve the moon near 100 kilometer orbit of moon, and it is going to use the gravitational field of moon to reach back to the Earth's orbit. and reach on the Earth's, we can say, atmosphere. To re-enter Earth's atmosphere, Orion spacecraft will do a close flyby within the less than 100 km of Moon's surface and use both service module and Moon's gravity to accelerate back towards the Earth. This new technology demonstration is going to be helpful to bring back all this spacecraft and modules, whatever the research it has done, back to the Earth. What are the future missions in the Artemis program? The second flight under the program will have crew on the board and will test Orion's critical systems with human on board. Eventually, the learning from Artemis will be utilized to send first astronauts to Mars also. Then American mathematician Sullivan wins Abel Prize. Okay, so Abel Prize for the mathematics research and we can say contribution. So for his groundbreaking contribution to topology in its broadest sense and in particular its algebraic, geometric and dynamical aspects. Topology is the field of mathematics which was born in 19th century and has to do with properties of surfaces that do not change when they are deformed. Typologically, a circle and square are same. This is the field, unique field of, we can say, mathematics. We need not to go into details of this, but yes, about the Abel Prize, it was established by Norwegian government in 2002 on the occasion of 200th anniversary of Neil Henrik Abel's birth. Awarded for, it recognizes contribution to the field of mathematics that are of extraordinary depth and influence. Okay, so this is very important prize for mathematics, we can say. जैसे नोबेल प्राइज होता है साइंस के लिए largely, as well as we can say economics and literature and peace prize, Abel Prize is for mathematics. Awarded by Norwegian Academy of Sciences and Letters. Then frequency, the award has been awarded annually since 2003 and the prize carries cash award of 600 million NOK, that is Norwegian currency. Okay, so it is given annually by Norwegian Academy of Science and Letters on the recommendation of Abel Committee. It was established by Norwegian government in 2002. Next, G20 summit or G20, we can simply about grouping. So it is an international forum that brings together world's major economies. Remember this, its member account for more than 80% of world GDP and 75% of global trade, 60% of population. The forum has met every year since 1919 and since 2008, a yearly summit is done for the respective heads of state and government. It does not have permanent secretariat. Remember this, G20 does not have permanent secretariat, and this secretariat is provided by a troika represented by country that holds the presidency. Its predecessor and its successor works to ensure continuity within the G20. The agenda and activities are established by the rotating presidencies in cooperation with its membership. Who are the members of G20 grouping? Like this, there was one question in prelims 2020 UPSC examination. In which of the following groups are the 4 countries members of G20? Like the question was asked, and students were confused about this pretty much. Okay, because each and every grouping are having some, we can say, developed and developing countries, and that created the problem because G20 both has emerging economies and developed countries. So yes, first of all, you can see here the countries Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, European Union, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, South Korea, then Turkey, UK, United Kingdom and United States. So you can see here the developing countries like India, Indonesia, then you can talk about Mexico, China, then Brazil and Argentina, as well as Saudi Arabia you can take, South Africa example is there and Turkey is example. Okay, so these are, we can say, emerging economies or developing countries, while other remaining are European countries and North American countries like Canada, US. आपको दिख रहा है कि मैक्सिको, यूएस एंड कनाडा, नॉर्थ अमेरिकन तीनों कंट्रीज उसमें इंक्लूडेड है. एंड यूरोपियन यूनियन, फ्रांस, जर्मनी, इटली एंड यूनाइटेड किंगडम. So these, and Russia, these are European countries. And remaining you can see Asian countries, South Korea, Japan is there, as well as Australia as a separate country, continent. ये सारे 20 countries है जिसमें India is also the member. So from this you can attempt this question, like look at the first: Argentina, Mexico, South Africa, Turkey. So all these four are the members of G20. So itself is correct. You can eliminate from the remaining. So like New Zealand छोटी सी कंट्री है, तो G20 में कंट्रीब्यूशन इतना बड़ा नहीं होगा, बड़ी इकोनॉमी नहीं है. So because of that we can eliminate this. Brazil, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Vietnam. So you can imagine that already US Iran conflict is there always. So Iran को include इतने बड़े grouping में US होने नहीं देगा. You can eliminate that. Indonesia, Japan, Singapore, South Korea. सिंगापुर जो है छोटी सी कंट्री है, तो वहाँ पे इतना बड़ा हम बड़ी ग्रुपिंग में उसका जो हम बोल सकते हैं पॉपुलेशन नहीं है या वॉल्यूम ऑफ ट्रेड इकोनॉमी नहीं है. So you can eliminate that also. Likewise, if you are able to eliminate these countries, then you can easily attempt this as a correct answer. Okay. Now, export cross 400 billion annual target as good shipment jump. In which areas exports have improved? Engineering products, apparel and garment, gems and jewelries, and petroleum products. So these areas have helped. Along with that, agriculture boost is also there, like rice, both basmati and non-basmati varieties achieved 90% to 100% of total export target already. Okay, so it shows that agriculture exports are also good, merchandise export is also good, and trade deficit is going down because of this. So it is good development. So already import bill is increasing because of oil prices are increasing, but it is being compensated through increasing exports also. So this is good development. It will help to reduce trade deficit. It will help to reduce the CAD also, current account deficit. Fine. So remember to have the follow up on economy perspective also. What should be answer to this question? Okay, so the question is related to Abel price and we have to find out the correct statements. Yes, it recognizes contribution in the field of mathematics. This is correct. It is established by Sweden government in 2002. This is incorrect. It is established by Norwegian government. So it is incorrect. The award has been awarded biannually since 2003. So this is not awarded biannually. This is incorrect. It is awarded annually. Okay, so 2 and 3 incorrect है, हमें correct statement चाहिए, 1 only. So A is the correct answer here. Right? Okay, fine. So yes, these are the important developments. Also, yes, let me tell you that Lukmaan IAS has come up with this new initiative. Every year, Lukmaan IAS holds 400 DIMS scholarship program, wherein students can attempt this examination. Those who are in final year of their graduation, third year of their graduation, second year of their graduation can surely attempt this. It is very good opportunity. Why? Because Lukmaan IAS is providing scholarship to intelligent students, but those who do not have capacity to pay huge fees of IAS coaching classes for foundation batch, and Lukmaan IAS helps them by providing some kind of benefits here. At the same time, the quality and the quantity in terms of, we can say, the inputs provided to the students is almost same, we can say, as competitors, and therefore you can attempt this. You can visit the Lukmaan IAS website to know details about this examination, how it is conducted, when it is going to be conducted. Fine? Okay, thank you.